This is the Bwana News Network. Welcome, guys. October 3rd. Here's the news. First things first, let's talk about the Microsoft Surface event, which occurred on Wednesday. We talked about this in the last Bwana News Network about what to expect, and we really didn't know what was going to happen, save some minor updates to some existing products, but we were surprised with some of the Microsoft offerings. Let's get right to it. So the first thing was the Surface Laptop 3. This was pretty much expected, except for a big surprise. Microsoft's Surface Laptop 3 will now be using the AMD Ryzen 7 processor. So this is a big change, and it's the first time I've seen in a long time that someone's flagship product is going to be using the AMD processor. So kudos to AMD for surpassing that hurdle, because everybody seems to be dropping Intel these days. Dropping Intel into their boxes, not dropping them. And the AMD Ryzen 7 processor. And this comes in the larger 15-inch version as well as a 13.5-inch version. It starts at $999 and $1,199 for the bigger one. So the $999 is the 13.5-inch, and the $1,199 is the 15-inch version. It's going to be available on October 22nd. The next thing they released was the Surface Pro 7. And if you've ever used a Surface Pro, you probably know what to expect. This is kind of one of these hybrid tablet type devices where you can hook up a keyboard and pretty much have your laptop-like functionality. It's very popular in the educational space as well as the development space. It's a very portable type of solution. It now comes with USB-C support, which replaces the mini display port, and it gets an upgraded processor, and that's about it. It's going to be $150 less than the previous version, starting at $750, and it has a shipping date of October 22nd as well. Surface Pro X. This is the updated version. A Pro Surface laptop, and it's going to have a 13-inch display compared to the 12.3 inches of the Pro on the Pro 7. This is the Surface Pro X, and it's 3 millimeters thinner. One of the cool things I like about this is that it's going to have a removable solid-state drive that can be swapped in and out, and it has an ARM-based processor. Starts at $999, and it won't be available until November 5th. Now, let's get into the surprises. Microsoft introduced these new dual-display devices. The first is the Surface Neo. It's a dual-screen PC powered by a new customized operating system called Windows 10 X. It's 5.6 millimeters thick, and it has a 360-degree hinge, which is pretty interesting. And one of the screens can be replaced by an attachable keyboard, so you can have like a laptop-like situation here, kind of like the Surface, what is it called? The Surface Pro 7. And it's kind of interesting that they went this route to have a dual display folding device. And I got to thinking about the Galaxy Fold when I saw this, and I was like, wait, man, I wonder if Microsoft would, if they were to do a phone, they probably should do something similar. The Surface Neo won't be available until 2020, and they don't have a price yet. And regarding that phone situation, oh yeah, Microsoft was like, yeah, Bwana, we're with you on that. Microsoft has entered, the Android space now with a new phone called the Surface Duo. Clearly in competition of the Galaxy Fold. Dual 5.6-inch displays. I gotta say, I'm impressed. This is a good idea. This is a much better idea than the Galaxy Fold, if you ask me. This is kind of like a portfolio type of what people actually have today. They have their phones in these types of things, and they just fold them open. And the fact that they have two 5.6-inch displays means you got twice the real estate than you do normally. And you've got a nice foldable, collapsible situation here. And it's going to be using Android. So Microsoft has given up on the OS front. Well, they gave up a while ago. And it's going to be a foldable phone. I'm rooting for this. I want this to succeed. I really do. I think Microsoft is onto something here. Would I use one of these? Absolutely. Do I need one? Absolutely not. It's a nice to have device for me. Those people with the Galaxy Fold phobias that the screens might revert to their broken ways are probably looking at this going, hey, that's probably a better idea with the actual hardware hinge and 2 screens. This just screams that it won't break like the Galaxy Fold might. So that's very, very interesting. And finally, the Surface earbuds. Microsoft has jumped into the earbuds, or the, I don't know what they call it. I guess I'll call it the earbud market. It's booming, man. And also, they're going to have virtual assistant support, very similar to what we saw with Amazon. Amazon's earphones that they came out with will have Alexa support and Cortana support. But these will support also Siri, Bixby, and Google Assistant. It also has integration with PowerPoint. If you tap the headphones, it'll go to the next slide. So it's going to be started at $249. Kind of pricey for some headphones. So I'm hoping the sound quality and the noise cancellation features, if any, I don't think they mentioned that in this article, are actually good. So check it out, guys. This is an article that I found over on The Verge, which has everything Microsoft announced at its 2019 Surface event. Next story, Netflix. What? Netflix consumes 15% of the world's global internet traffic. That's insane. 15% of all internet downstream traffic is Netflix. Following Netflix, the miscellaneous video embeds of websites takes up 13.1% of all internet traffic, while YouTube takes up 11.4%. Now, if you were to ask somebody, hey, who do you think uses more internet bandwidth? Would it be Netflix or YouTube? I think a lot of the general population would say YouTube. They probably say, yeah, probably YouTube. Yeah, probably YouTube. YouTube. Netflix is top dog when it comes to bandwidth hogging. I know the ISPs are like, see, we told you so. That's why we wanted to put the Netflix tax on the ISP bandwidth, because you guys are doing nothing but. They didn't say it like that. In total, streaming video accounts for more than half the bandwidth on the internet worldwide. Streaming video is 58% of total bandwidth. Streaming video is more than half, 58%. That's nuts. BitTorrent is responsible for 22% of all upstreams. Haha. Haha. Social media accounts for just 5.1% of all web traffic, and League of Legends accounts for 26% of all gaming streaming traffic on the web. That game's 40 years old, chat. I remember back in 1938, when the internet was in black and white. We played League of Legends. We're like, I'm going to troll pick Teemo and go up middle lane and put some mushroom. You know, that was back in 1938, chat. 26% of all gaming streams on the web. That is nuts. Sandvine's global report is available via this link on Fast Company. Check it out. Netflix consumes 15% of all the world's global internet traffic. Next story, Disney Plus may not be on the Fire TV due to a reported ad dispute with the Amazon. Apparently, Amazon is said to want a bigger slice of the ad space, and Disney's like, nah, we ain't doing that. So Disney confirmed all the platforms. This is how this broke. They confirmed all the platforms which will support Disney Plus, and Amazon's Fire TV was missing. Huh. It seems that the companies are tussling over terms for not just Disney, but the likes of ESPN Plus and the Disney Channel. They reportedly want a larger percentage of the apps. And the two sides may not be able to resolve the issue. That would be probably bad. That'd be worse for Disney than Amazon, actually. Because if you think about it, I think about it like this. If Disney Plus did not exist on the Fire TV, I don't think anything would change for Fire TV. I don't think Amazon would lose or gain people. But if Disney Plus was not on the Fire TV, I think Disney would probably lose more viewers than they could potentially have. I'm not saying that Amazon's Fire TV is huge. It's probably not by any stretch of the imagination. It's probably not even that big. But that's new users that are going to not use. They're not going to use the Disney Plus service if it's not on the Fire TV system. I guess the trade-off between the two is what Disney and Amazon can't agree on. I think Amazon may be saying, hey, you guys need us more than we need you. Give us more money. And Disney Plus is like, you ain't all that, Fire TV. You ain't all that. I mean, you all that, but you ain't all that. We don't want to pay you 80% to, I don't know what they're asking for. Some large cut of the ad revenue. The report suggests that Amazon had just under a third of the market share for streaming boxes in the U.S. as of the second quarter, with only Roku having a bigger slice. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that Roku has 41%? 41% of the streaming boxes market? I didn't know that. I had a Roku once. I don't have it anymore. Huh. If Amazon and Disney don't come to an agreement and its later apps vanish from the Fire TV, Disney will miss out on major distribution channels. It will be harder for many people to access Disney Plus when it arrives in November 12th. That's what I'm saying, man. It's probably going to be a little bit rougher for Disney than it is for Fire TV. Disney Plus won't have ads, but talks over Fire TV distribution seemingly give Amazon opening to talk about terms for Disney other apps. Amazon initially said to ask for about 40% of ad space from media streaming services, which often drops between 20 and 30 during negotiations. Huh. Wait, Disney Plus won't have ads. So what are they asking for? Huh? What? Okay. I have to come back to this. That doesn't make any sense. If Disney Plus won't have ads, what are they negotiating over? They're talking about ad space on Disney Plus, but that just says Disney Plus won't have ads, so I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, as it stands, Disney Plus will have apps for Roku, iOS, Apple TV, Android, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. So check the story out, guys. Over in Gadget, they got the details. Disney Plus may not be on the Fire TV due to a reported ad dispute, even though Disney Plus won't have ads. What? I don't get it. Don't get it at all. Next story, the PlayStation 4 has officially released their cross-platform multiplayer stack to all developers. It is now out of beta and available to all the developers who want to make cross-platform available on the PlayStation 4 platform. This comes from a Wired interview from Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan, and in which the interviewer said he avoided announcing the news explicitly while still confirming that PS4's crossplay efforts have officially moved out of the beta stage. An enjoyable implicit announcement then. He previously cited that the responsibility to the user base as a reason to not support it. He attached the argument that Minecraft kids being exposed to players from other platforms whose behavior that Sony cannot control, and so on and so forth. And that's what this article goes on to say, that some games have it and some games don't. It's a very weird space, this cross-platform. Sony's been doing it longer than Microsoft, by the way. So a lot of people don't know that. I always try to educate people on the history of this. Sony was pioneering this many, many years ago with MMORPGs on their platform and other games as well. Microsoft dabbled a tiny bit, and Nintendo wasn't even thinking about it. I don't know why they even tried to make fun of Sony, because Nintendo's online efforts are just laughable in every which way or form that you can imagine it. But Sony's been doing this a while. But most recently, Microsoft and Nintendo went on a marketing campaign to basically shame Sony into jumping on the cross-platform bandwagon, which was perplexing because Sony was doing it for many, many years, and Microsoft and Nintendo wouldn't even budge. So now it's official. Now we'll have PS4 cross-platform capability for PS4 games if the developers choose to support it. It is up to the developer, but the stack or the development tools have officially been released for everybody that can do that. So I honestly don't think this is going to change much in the short term. I think we're probably going to see more games, more live services adopt this. Probably in 2020 or 2021, late 2020. It's going to take a while to build this. I know a lot of people ask the Warframe developers, are they going to do it? They're like, well, we got a lot of stuff to change on our end. There's a lot of philosophies. There's a lot of when it comes to store prices and currency and infrastructure. I know Microsoft didn't want Final Fantasy XIV to be on the Xbox Live because of the the text chat not having some kind of a feature that they needed where Sony didn't care about that feature. It's just so many little things with the two ecosystems that they have to make work alongside each other. On PC, we don't care about that stuff because we don't have all the different checks and balances that these consoles have. We don't have certifications. We don't have security checks, which is why we have all this malware and broken games and alpha and beta nonsense and crap. But that's the price you pay with the freedom that the PC platform has. Consoles are locked down for a reason. They give you a controlled environment, and that's a benefit. A controlled environment is generally more stable, and some people prefer that. Whereas PC is Wild West. It is a Wild West. It's a mess. It is actually pretty terrible right now, but we won't get into that. But check it out, guys. PS4 cross-platform multiplayer reportedly now available to all developers. And finally, from the department of what in the world is that department, Untitled Goose Game streamer makes a goose costume into a controller. This guy. Let's just play the clip a little bit.
The game, okay. Things go weird. Oh my god! It works. I can't believe this works. This actually works. Are you serious? It works! It works! Holy shit!
I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to do that. It's a family-friendly show, chat. But this is Rudism. And he's done stuff like this before. The goose waddles when he waddles his flippers. The goose flaps his wings when he flaps his arm. Has technology gone too far? He's wearing a pair of gloves hooked up to detect flapping. Movement is controlled by a thumbstick to select the direction when triggered by flapping the swimming flippers on his feet. He honks by being noisy into a microphone into the orange beak he's wearing, which fittingly has a blood stain. Don't worry about it, he says. It's fine. And he needs to crouch forward for the goose to crouch and pecks his head forward to pick up and drop items. So Rudism has done it again. A actual costume that can control Untitled Goose Game. Check it out, guys. This is over on Rock, Paper, Shotgun. They got the details. This guy's nuts. He's crazy. He can control Goose Game with a costume. And that's the news.